What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Gig Nation, where we talk about everything related to the gig economy. My name is Jonathan, and today we're going to be looking at GrubHub and whether or not it pays better than DoorDash. So I wanted to bring this up because everybody has been talking nonstop about this new DoorDash pay model. Some people are saying it pays less because they're seeing all of these $2 and $3 payouts, and then other drivers are actually saying that it pays more because if you decline these lower paying orders, then all of a sudden you get those higher offers and you can kind of cherry pick your way to higher earnings. You got to have a little bit more strategy, but it definitely pays off in the end. But in this video, I wanted to talk more about GrubHub Pay, quite frankly, because I'm getting tired of talking about DoorDash Pay nonstop, and I actually really like GrubHub. They pay out very well. It's always been my preferred app. I've always kind of leaned towards GrubHub over DoorDash because GrubHub has always allowed for cherry picking. And personally, I've been a cherry picker since day one. I mean, I'll do DoorDash deliveries here and there if it makes sense for me, but I kind of like just waiting around and finding that GrubHub offer that's going to be best for me. And I do this because I like to get other stuff done if I'm not getting an offer. It's not like I see the downtime as wasted time. I'm usually doing some sort of work on my phone or on my computer and just waiting for those best offers. And so I'm really maximizing the benefits of being an independent contractor and working in the gig economy. Now I can see why other people like that consistency of DoorDash's old pay model with just $5 or $6 orders coming at you nonstop. You don't have to think much, and you can kind of just select those, assuming that the mileage isn't going to be too long, and you can do all right and know what you're getting into. But I've always liked, playing the cherry picking game. And for those of you that haven't cherry picked before, do not worry. It's definitely something that you can figure out pretty easily, and it's going to make you more money with DoorDash if you know how to approach it. So I want to make a quick little kind of spiel here, and that is if you are doing DoorDash and you're figuring out this whole cherry picking thing, one thing that you should do right now is download the GrubHub app and at least apply to GrubHub. Get an application in there because it does take some time to get accepted, assuming that GrubHub is in your area. But if you're going to be cherry picking already, you might as well be doing it on 2 apps, multi-apping, and that way you can have more orders coming your way and you can screen out all the bad ones and just take the good orders. Now that's always been my strategy, is just running a couple of different apps and taking those best orders. So GrubHub's been cool for that. GrubHub has been my move because in my opinion, their base payout is higher than DoorDash, and then they give you 100% of tips on top of that. So consistently, I always saw pretty high paying orders. And in a minute here, I'm going to show you guys exactly what my payouts were last night. I just did GrubHub for about an hour and a half. It wasn't anything too crazy, but it was pretty good earnings, and I wanted to show you guys that so you can get a little preview of what that looks like. But before we hop into that, let's just do a quick overview of GrubHub. As I mentioned, there is usually a wait list before you get to start working for GrubHub. They kind of limit the number of drivers who are on the app at any given time, and not on the app. When I say on the app, I don't mean signed onto the app. I mean literally accepted as GrubHub partners. So they have a limited number of those, but once you're on, once you're a partner, you can always go online. You can always start taking offers, and that's kind of a nice feature to have. Now, they also don't have an acceptance rate minimum. You're an independent contractor, so you get to dictate that, but they do definitely incentivize higher acceptance rates if you want to become a higher level partner and get premier scheduling, basically be able to schedule out those blocks ahead of time and get the best blocks whenever you want. Then you're encouraged to have a higher acceptance rate. So the 85% threshold is big, and then the 95% threshold also bumps you up a little bit higher. But for me personally, I've never cared about this because I've never had an issue with getting offers coming my way if I just sign on. If I go online, there's usually pretty good offers coming at me. And when I say this, I mean going online during dinner time. That's usually when I work. Scheduling shifts isn't going to help you work during the middle of the day because there's not going to be shifts available. GrubHub's not going to put a lot of these out here because people, quite frankly, just don't order that much food in the middle of the day. So we're talking about signing on during dinner time hours. And for me, I'd rather just have a terribly low acceptance rate and not worry about getting those shifts early because I can always get those orders. It's not really a big deal to me. But in other markets, maybe there are more drivers on your app, maybe there's more partners in your area, or maybe it's just not as busy and you need those shifts. This strategy might not work for you, but for those of you who have the luxury, definitely recommend cherry picking on the GrubHub app. All right, so let's take a quick look at my earnings here. And as you can see, I had the first order for $22. The second order was $7, and then another order for $17. And now, if you look at these, you're probably gonna wonder why I took a $7 order. I actually rejected quite a few orders before that one, and I did so because I was really just looking for an order to get me back to my house. I had that high paying order, and I had some other stuff I wanted to get done. So that $7 payout was actually my neighbor, like 2 blocks down, that ordered something, and it basically just allowed me to make a little bit of money while driving back to my house. But the other 2 payouts were pretty sizable, 22 and 17. A good amount of tip coming through on those orders, and definitely a high base pay as well. And one thing that you will notice is even on that $7 order, the GrubHub base pay, I believe, was about $6, and then the tip was $1. So the reason why it was so low was because of a low tip, but GrubHub's still providing that high base payout. They just fundamentally have a little bit higher of a base payout. At least in my opinion, they've always been pretty solid on that, on giving drivers that steady, good pay rate, and they're very transparent about it too. At least in the past, when I've looked up in the app what I'm making, I can see by distance traveled, how much I'm getting per mile and time. I can see a really good breakdown of all that, which is just nice to know and nice to have that data in front of you. All right, so diving a little bit deeper into these numbers, let's talk about GrubHub and how much work you can get out of it, because at least with my current strategy of cherry picking, it's definitely not full time. It's dinner time hours during the week, and it's kind of just here or there to supplement. So you definitely couldn't take this and be like, hey, I want to do this full time and just cherry pick. Now, if you wanted to do it full time, you could definitely schedule out shifts and get more workflow coming your way. That could be a good alternative. But personally, I'm just going to emphasize that I like multi-apping. And now with DoorDash testing this new pay model, if they decide to go with this new pay model, it definitely opens the door to multi-apping. It's going to make it very beneficial to have both GrubHub and DoorDash open and just be taking the best offers. So once again, just have to shout that out, that at least consider downloading that GrubHub app so that you can have a couple of different apps to play off of and boost your earnings by using that multi-apping strategy. All right, so that pretty much sums it up for the video. If you deliver with GrubHub and DoorDash, let me know, leave a comment down below. Let me know which one you think pays more, which one gives you more orders. I've definitely noticed myself that I get more orders coming through with DoorDash, but at least before they updated their pay model, like with the old pay model, you just see more orders that are at a generally lower payout. So for me, I kind of like being able to cherry pick, even if it's fewer orders with GrubHub. Just having those higher payouts less often is cool with me. But DoorDash does have a large consumer base, so you definitely get more orders. So let me know, what it's like for you in your area. And if you found this video helpful, go ahead and hit that like button and make sure to subscribe to the channel.